I chose the best friend's brother. The weekend began with the kind of simple promise that felt safe. 2 days at Lake Warren with my best friend, her family, and just enough wine to forget the week we had both survived. I did not know that her older brother, Marcus, freshly divorced and twice my age, would be waiting there. I had always thought of him as off-limits, almost untouchable, the quiet, reserved man who stood at the edges of holiday photos, hands in his pockets, gaze somewhere far away. But when my best friend left unexpectedly after a Friday afternoon phone call, leaving just the two of us in that cabin, the air seemed to change. The silence between us wasn't empty. It was heavy, ripe with a tension I didn't have the courage to name yet. My life before that weekend looked solid from the outside. I was 36, married for 12 years to a man whose loyalty I had once mistaken for love. My career as an event coordinator kept me busy and gave me order. Most evenings were spent in our shared kitchen, cooking simple meals, listening to the faint hum of traffic beyond the balcony. My friendships were steady, my routines dependable. I cherished the predictability until one day I stopped feeling anything in it. The betrayal didn't crash into my life like lightning. It crept in quietly, beginning with late nights at his office, vague excuses about deadlines, and the faint scent of perfume I didn't wear clinging to his collar. I told myself not to be paranoid until I found a receipt from a city hotel dated for a night he claimed he was working. The confrontation was short. His eyes didn't dart away. His voice didn't tremble. "I met someone," he said, as if that explained the hollow inside me. The metallic tang of tears filled my mouth before I could speak. I heard my own breath catch, felt the dizzy spin of the room, and understood, without denial, that the life I thought I had was over. In the weeks after, my heartbreak became a small, constant thrum, a bone-deep ache that lived in my chest. Nights stretched on too long in the apartment, the clock ticking in mockery of how slow healing felt. My footsteps echoed in the empty hallway, cold without his clutter of jackets by the door. Sometimes I would wake at 3 o'clock in the morning, staring at the ceiling, jealousy biting at my skin as I imagined him with her, laughing the way he used to with me. My best friend Olivia coaxed me into joining her weekend trip, insisting the crisp lake air would help. I wasn't expecting Marcus to be there. We had known each other in passing, polite smiles, obligatory conversations at family gatherings, but we had never been alone together. The first night, I sat on the porch watching the silver ribbon of moonlight stretch across the lake. I could hear the soft shuffle of his boots against the wooden planks as he stepped outside, the quiet creak of the door closing behind him. He handed me a mug of tea without a word. I noticed his hands, broad, lined, flecked with tiny scars, and the faint scent of cedar that clung to him. It should have been ordinary, but when his fingers brushed mine, a spark warmed the hollow in my chest. We spoke about nothing at first, the weather, the lake, his divorce. And how strange it felt to divide his life into things he kept and things he left behind. I told him about the hotel receipt, my marriage falling apart, the way silence had started to scare me. His eyes held mine, not pity, but something deep and quiet, an understanding that burned without flamboyance. The next day, Olivia left for 6 hours to handle a personal matter in town. I found Marcus in the kitchen chopping vegetables. Sun spilling through the wide cabin window and catching in the threads of his hair. We moved around each other easily, almost like choreography, passing utensils, touching in small accidental ways that lingered a beat too long. If this confession has you holding your breath, hit like and share because you will not believe what happened next. That afternoon, we walked down to the dock, the boards warm under bare feet. The lake smelled of summer clean water and faint algae, and somewhere in the distance, a loon called out. Marcus sat close enough for our knees to touch. My heart drummed a quiet but insistent rhythm, my pulse heavy in my ears. He told me I seemed different, softer but also stronger than he remembered. I laughed, a low sound I barely recognized, and admitted that I had spent months feeling invisible. His gaze stayed on me, steady and unflinching, until the space between us felt too small to hold the weight of it. There was no kiss, no grand declaration, just his hand closing gently over mine, grounding me in a way I had not felt since before heartbreak became my language. That evening, we cooked dinner together. The tang of sautéed garlic filled the kitchen, mixing with the smoky scent from the wood stove. Every small motion, a shared glance over a pot, the way he leaned close to hand me a plate, seemed charged, carrying the unspoken truth that we were stepping toward something neither of us planned. I discovered layers in him I had never seen, the humor tucked into quiet moments, the patience in the way he listened, even when my words faltered. In him, I saw not the older brother of my best friend, but a man who had also been cracked open by loss, and yet carried gentleness like it was something worth protecting. On the last night, we sat outside until the stars took over the sky. The air was cool, smelling faintly of pine. I could hear the soft ripple of the lake, the whisper of wind through low branches. He asked if I believed in second chances. My answer was not immediate, but when it came, it was certain. I do now. The drive back was quiet, not awkward, but full of the kind of peace that comes after something unspoken has been acknowledged. I knew crossing that boundary was dangerous. Olivia would never understand. Society would pick apart the age difference and the timing. But in the stillness after we said goodbye, I felt like my heart had turned toward the possibility of love again. It wasn't reckless infatuation. It was the slow burn of finding someone who saw me in vivid color when I had been living in grayscale. That forbidden weekend at Lake Warren did not end with a promise, only with a look, one that told me this was not the last time our paths would cross, and for once, uncertainty felt like hope. If you crave more raw, emotional confessions, please like, share, and subscribe. Your next chapter awaits. Support, add, feel the longing, the risk, and the slow burn heat. Support our mission to keep more forbidden love stories coming.